Hey everybody, welcome back to the Plays and Fades YouTube channel. I'm your host, Gordo Gambles, and welcome back to another Best Bets video. This time we are talking about UFCNoche, and you know what, still sounding different to say off the intro, but nonetheless, we do another video this week, brought to you as always by our friends by CoolBet. Be sure to check them out. All odds in these videos will be used by their books, and also a link should be in the description down below. If not, DM me on Twitter and I'll get you one for sure. But as always, going to go over our favorite bets for this card, a money line, a prop bet, and a parlay to get it sorted. Typically, we like to go out there, find some good plus money, an underdog to back, but this card is chalky, man. This card is a very, very tough one to break down. Nonetheless, I'm gonna try to do this as quickly as possible, give you guys all the insight I can, and try to cash some tickets nonetheless. Let's get things started with the money line. And typically, we like to go out there and find an underdog, find someone we can trust at a high clip. And I'm not really liking these big plus money numbers. I mean, there's only really one fight that's closely contested, and that is a really competitive WMA bout. I would rather go to maybe a chalkier play, but one I feel more comfortable in, and it's going to be in the main event. And it might be a hot take this week, but we're going back with Valentina Shevchenko, guys. We have someone in her last bout who was minus 800 against her, who was winning the fight up until she did slip up. And yes, I understood that Grasso is going to be the younger fighter in this spot, fighting under the new UFCNoche banner, but I do think without capitalizing on that mistake that Valentina made last time, which, by the way, all power to her for finding that hole in her game, she wouldn't be winning this fight. I truly think Valentina was up in the scorecards. I also think that Valentina wasn't really fully prepared for this matchup. Now that she has that last fight in the past, as well as a focused mindset on this one, I do think she's able to get the belt back. She's the more dynamic physical fighter here with more tools to get it done. Grasso's a phenomenal boxer, but I think Shevchenko has the ability to use her kicks, use her range, land some good combinations in her own right, as well as implement that wrestling. She was able to land some takedowns last time. I think she can do the same thing here and control the rounds and win this fight at a very, very high clip. The thing that is really calling me out on this one, though, is we're getting her at minus 172 on CoolBet right now. That's not something I'm too used to seeing with Valentina Shevchenko, who's always minus 800, minus 1,000, and truly this might be a bit of an overcorrection to the last fight we had. Minus 172 is the cheapest we will see Valentina in a long time, and I do think she has the tools to get this done at a very, very high clip. Now, there are a ton of chalky favorites. We'll mention a chalky parlay later on to maybe get the Valentina Shevchenko number down, but when it comes to picking a favorite moneyline spot on this card, I'm putting my foot down on the flyweight GOAT, someone who I've been able to trust in the past, someone who I think is able to get that hunger back in her and get back to her competitive ways, and I do think she's able to win what is potentially a close fight, but one where she should have the edge in a lot of aspects of MMA. So yes, to all those who got Grasso at plus 300, the big plus money number, all power to you. But at this point in time, when we have minus 172 here, I'm going to take that shot on Valentina Shevchenko. I do think she should be an even larger favorite in this spot. I do think she has all the tools to win this at a very, very high clip. Speaking of that parlay, let's cover some legs we want to target here this week. And as always, this is to build the bankroll. It may not be the prettiest odds, but it's people who I trust to get the job done and people who I think will bring us towards that promised land. And this week, when we have so many big favorites to choose from, I'm really narrowing it down to 3 this week. And 3 of them who are fighting on that Mexican banner. Again, super chalky, not the prettiest, but they should build a bankroll. First of which being Raul Rosas Jr. And there's a couple ways you can target this one. First of all, I think Raul Rosas Jr. has a setup matchup, and I think that the inside the distance line is more likely, which will cut you down to an even better parlay tag. Money line on this one, you're getting minus 108. Taking to the distance, you're getting plus 112. Really, it's up to you if you want to pay the difference, but to me, I do think Rosas Jr. wins this fight at a very, very high clip. 18 years old, the youngest fighter in UFC history, someone they can really have the ability to market, and I think he has all the tools to go out there and dispose of a very lackluster Terrence Mitchell, who is brought in on this UFCNoche card to really be a stepping stone for someone like Rosas Jr. Rosas Jr. is super tough, super durable, amazing ground game, amazing aggression early on, and although his cardio was checked out last time, that was against a far superior level of competition. Terrence Mitchell instead is someone who has even worse cardio in my opinion, whose chin is questionable, who can be taken down and controlled on the mat, things that Rosas Jr. is going to look to do immediately. I think that although it is a huge favorite price tag, it is well deserved for a marketable fighter. They're looking to prop up here. Give me Rosas Jr. all day. Second leg of this one is a Canadian Mexican, someone who has maybe been a bit harder to trust in the past, but someone who I think does have a favorable matchup here. That is Lupe Godinez. And she may have fallen in love with her hands recently, but she is an at-core wrestler, and that's someone who you definitely want to back when you're going against Elise Reed. Elise Reed has lost a few times in the UFC. Every time she's been taken down to the mat, she's been finished, and she has a horrible ground game, horrible takedown defense, and sure, she's able to beat the low level of competition that's not taking her down. Lupe Godinez competed with the Canadian national team in wrestling. She is a very talented wrestler, led 8 against Carnelossi, 5 in previous matchups. She has that ground game in her back pocket and has some good armbar series to get that finish down there. Nonetheless, I do think that there is a massive hole in the ground game of Elise Reed, one where Lupe is going to be completely prepared to take advantage of it. I do think she is far superior there. I do think she gets it done. She's a next parlay piece for us, and I do think she makes it look easy. Of course, there's the risk of her not wrestling and striking. I still think she's able to win the striking exchanges, although that maybe wouldn't be the best course of outcome. However, However, the grappling should get it done for us. She's leg number 2. That third leg for us is someone who honestly I'll be betting straight up inside the distance, which you can get at plus money, but we're taking Fernando Padilla. Third leg, facing a Canadian Kyle Nelson who has burned me before in the past, but I do think Padilla is being propped up for success here against someone who's going to have many advantages against. Padilla is a very, very aggressive striker who's gone out there, fallen in love with his hands as well, pressure forward style, and has the durability to go out there and do that. He will take one to land a couple, and with a superior volume, durability, and cardio here, I think he's going to bring a pace to Nelson. Nelson is not able to keep up. Nelson's been able to coast to a couple decision victories in the past. Padilla's style and accuracy on the feet, as well as incredible power, is going to cause threats for Nelson. I do think we get an action-packed early round. Even if Nelson's able to use that wrestling, which potentially he's able to, Padilla, a phenomenal grappler from his back position, throws up a ton of submissions, and that's kind of his bread and butter. Although he has fallen in love with his hands, and he's an incredible striker, is very competent on the mat as well. I do think Padilla has Nelson covered everywhere. Now, yes, there's no such thing as a lock in MMA. Please bet responsibly, but these 3 fighters are 3 fighters who I think win at a very, very high clip. You can take all their money lines together at -108, or you can take Rose inside the distance, make that plus 112. Either way you want to do it, Coolbet's got you covered, and I do think this is a parlay that hits at a very high clip to build that bankroll. And now to the prop. Typically, I like to give you a long shot. Honestly, with so many chalky favorites, it's kind of hard to find one that really stands out at big plus money, but we're going to give you 2. We're going to give you one I like a bit, and then one that's a complete long shot, but should have better odds in the lines of tail. First of which being Kevin Holland by decision at plus 375. Now, whoa. Let me slow down. Yes, I'm fading JDM. Yes, I'm fading the under in this matchup. And first of all, I am playing the over in this matchup individually. You can keep that in mind. But I'm ready for it, man. It's going to have me clenched the entire time. It's going to have me absolutely at the edge of my seat because both these guys throw with fight-ending intention. But considering their durability, their willingness to go out there and engage in these matchups, I do think we have 2 very durable guys who can go out there and put on a 15-minute kickboxing affair, one where we're able to have one that goes to the scorecards. Now, the reason for me to take Kevin Holland here is a few reasons. One, I think it's about way better level of competition, but the anthropomorphic advantages, the ability to have the longer reach, the better height here, I do think that is able to help him win a bit of the optics, as well as having the more superior ground game. I can't trust him to go to that ground game, so that's why I'm not going to take it there, but that could go out there and steal some rounds for him, helping him in the judges' scorecards. All of this to say, at plus 375, I think we're getting a way better line than we really should in this matchup here, considering how solid Kevin Holland is all around and how he could have the minute winning ability here against someone like JDM. In a matchup where I am projecting 2 very tough guys to go the distance, this is a prop I like here. And then for the long shot of the week, one where I'll probably look stupid saying this, but one I'm going to take a tiny stab in. Please, again, bet responsibly. We're taking Alex Reyes by submission at plus 1,500. And there's a lot of things to say. First of all, Alex Reyes is coming off of a 6-year-long layoff. You don't want to trust that. Additionally, he was hospitalized, almost died out there, said he could never fight again. It's an incredible story of him, but not something you want to back from a money line perspective. But I'm kind of liking this plus money here. He's getting someone like Charlie Campbell, who I think is a really good fighter, but someone who is making his debut, who has flaws in his game. And although Reyes is 0-1 inside the UFC, that was 6 years ago, up a weight class to Mike Perry. I actually really like the fundamental skill set of Alex Reyes, and for that reason, he is someone I kind of want to trust at these big plus money odds, if that makes sense. Now again, supreme long shot, I'm just saying the ground game of Reyes is legit. I do think he has those skills there. I think that in 2017, this line would be nowhere near it where it is now, but instead, because of that layoff, it is inflated. I'm willing to take the shot here. I'm not saying Reyes is as dynamic as he used to be, but if he's able to get to the back there, I do think he has all the skills, the black belt on the mat, to get rid of Charlie Campbell in there and complete his miraculous story back in the UFC. So I'm taking a small stab on that at plus 1,500. Again, maybe the inside the distance line is better, but that's a long shot. That's going to do it for me here on the Plays and Fades YouTube channel. Just to recap, I'm taking Valentina Shevchenko to regain her throne at minus 172. My parlay this week is between Padilla, Godinez, and Rosas. You can even add a Rosas Jr. inside the distance to make that line even better. And finally, my long shot props this week are going to be Holland by decision at plus 375 and Alex Reyes by submission at plus 1,500. All these can be found at Coolbet. Again, thank you to them for helping me with this video here, and I appreciate everybody checking it out. But with that being said, check out the description, the link down below. Check out my full slate of bets on my Twitter at GamblesGordo. Hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel. Hope everyone enjoyed this video, and let's make some money, guys.